Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Sunday, May 9th, 2021. As you can see, I've updated my website a little bit. I got the still photo there on the left so that when I show up on the scene here in the video, I mean, this is my good side, right? And then over here on the, over here, all that information I don't need to say anymore because it's in the video, right? And then right below, sign up for my mailing list. So, yeah, that's good. I try to be a little bit more efficient here. Yeah, and then I'll go and make a 17-minute video that nobody will watch, right? So today is going to be kind of I guess, sort of a grab bag of different independent musician tips and tricks, or advice, or mistakes I've made. Mistakes, I've made a few. And so here with the website, it's been about a year since I switched website providers, and I've been making websites since like 1994. Back when they were text-based and the Lynx browser, LYNX, look that up. And then early in the early days of like Netscape and everything, I did it, by hand with, actual, all that sort of stuff. And then when Microsoft Front Page came along, I used that for a number of years, which again, it was junky code, but it more or less worked. And then when they phased that out, I went to WordPress, which I never loved. I never loved WordPress. And then when they got the Gutenberg editor, I hated it and moved on from there. And I went to a really cheap web hosting thing, which was a disaster. Don't do that. And then what did I do after that? Squarespace. I did that for about a year. And that was pretty elegant and also very expensive. And then I just decided to give that up. It was kind of an unnecessary expense. And so I switched out to a very independent web hosting firm. And I use like a site builder. I can't believe I'm using one of those. It's super easy. And I don't have much out there other than a few other pages that link off of here. My about page. What else we get up here? Contact, music services, and paintings. But that just leads over to my eBay art store. I don't have paintings. I don't have a gallery on the website, which I kind of feel like maybe you should have all your stuff out and for sale, unless it's, like legacy or sold or something like that. That's kind of how I feel about it, because websites, I don't know. My opinion about it is that people aren't necessarily looking for you. They're looking for the kind of stuff that you have. And so you have to be out somewhere. And this is why I always have said for years, don't marry yourself to platforms like Facebook or MySpace, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and try to build something on your own, even if it's simple like this, a landing page for markrushton.com. And then if you want to use other services, again, like the eBay art store, or linking out to things like Spotify or Pandora or Apple Music, you can do that. Here's all my stuff out there. Go at it. Sign up for my mailing list. You don't need to have a big 120-page website with your blog going back to December 1997 or something. It just all seems so unnecessary. But yeah, and then getting in bed with the Zuckerbergs. No. Now I do have some of the artists that I do publish under my pseudonyms do have pages out there on Facebook, but that's only so I can do other things. And I'm not really maintaining those. Every 6 months I will look out there and, I'll post something out there to kind of, keep the algorithm gods alive or whatever. But that's about it. I don't pay attention to that stuff at all. It's just, it's that you have to have that presence for something else, and that's for something else. And if you're an independent musician, you would understand this, right? And that's where I have evolved to. I've evolved to simplicity. And then sometimes I always look at my website and go, do I need that page? I have 5 pages. Maybe I could do 4. Maybe I could do 3. Name that tune, right? All right, so it's kind of a big grab bag today. And I want to show you something that I got in the mail here. It is the silk bass clarinet swab, which I never thought I need, but I guess I need one of those. The bass clarinet did come with a cloth swab here, and of course the big sinker on here. And this thing was filthy and smelled like someone else. But a few days soaking in it, and then drying on the porch, and it's good as new. But it's a cloth one. See, the cloth swab or whatever, which I think that's probably what I used when I played it. But then I found out that they have these silk bass clarinet swabs. It's silk woodwind instrument swabs. And the point of the silk swab is a silk, I guess, is apparently more absorbent than cloth, and also it doesn't get caught. So if you this is particularly important with just regular clarinets. It can get caught in there, and the silk will bunch up, and then you can, as long as you've got your little drop, you can pull it through. And really, I guess it only takes like 2 swabs after playing of any amount of time. Just swab it twice, and that should take care of everything that's inside the clarinet. So I just got that, and I'm waiting. The pickup, the piezo barrel, has been shipped from Brisbane, Australia. Very curious to see the tracking on that. I don't think I've ever had anything shipped from Australia before, so that's super exciting. I can't wait to receive that. But if it takes a few weeks, it takes a few weeks. It's not a big deal. What else we going on here? Last night we had a big rainstorm, and not as bad as what they thought it was going to be. Most of the big heavy stuff was way to the north and to the east. And we did get a bit of rain. I'm not quite sure how much. And I recorded all of it and left the recorder on overnight, and got the morning bird sounds and all the drips along the way. It's just going to be hours and hours of fun. Now, how do I do that? Let me show you how I do that here with my my audio recorder here. Of course, I've got my Tascam DR05 with the furry on top. And what I do is I plug this into the USB outlet, and then I plug it into one of these Anchor battery backups. And this thing, it recorded 12 hours on this external battery power. And the battery went from, it has a maximum of 4 blue dots. It went down to 3. Whereas, like, even if you put really awesome lithium batteries in this thing, you're pushing it. I know they say that battery life is X number of hours, but yeah, right. So it's always nice to have that battery backup. That's one thing I've discovered over the years. What else have I been doing? Over the last couple of months here, I've been I have this thing on my computer hard drive called the Stockpile, and it's music that I've made over the years. And in the past year, I'll just sort of binge create every now and then I go through and edit it and just discard things, throw things away. And when I edit, I always like to finish them, have them either be a FLAC or a WAV file. Most of the time I put fades on the ends, give them a good title, group them together, have a titling and a folder sequence for that sort of stuff. But ultimately they end up in the Stockpile. And from there I go and listen to the stuff and decide this is going to be Mark Rushton, this is going to be Ambientmatic, this is going to be Aleodiology, this is going to be a certain rain sound, this is going to be Audio Historians, Vibrating Wires, whatever. And group those together until I have. Sometimes I release singles, sometimes I release EPs, but it's nice to group them as an album. I've kind of gone back and forth on that. It's like, yeah, you can do singles and pitch those to Spotify, but I haven't got any of my pitches into any Spotify curated playlists. So, and I have so many tracks out there. I'm just gonna dump them into an album, schedule them every month, every 2 months, or something like that. Get them out the door and move on. It doesn't do anything sitting on a shelf, as Brian Eno would say. Release everything that you can. So, and that's what I need to do. I need to get that stockpile out. So I've been working on that the last few days here. In the evenings, I've been titling, grouping. An album needs to have at least 7 tracks, and it needs to be at least 32 or 33 minutes. So I'm always very mindful of that. And albums are not, in certain circumstances, albums. Now, the stuff I would release under my name, thematically, I try to create something that is a body of work. But when it comes to the other names, it's more like a grab bag. And that's just how I operate. And then you sequence them a certain way. I usually put shorter tracks in the beginning, longer tracks at the end. But and when I release an album, it's not so I'm going to buy an album and listen to it. It's because all this stuff is just going to be going into playlists. It's going to be curated a different way. That's how I look. That's how I look at this. So, it just depends. It's not so many. When you look out there at like music criticism and music journalists, they are so rigid with regard to certain definitions and stuff like that. Or you go out to things like Discogs, and it's just over the top. And I don't really care about that sort of stuff. It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to be able to, within these systems, obviously the album is apparently the most important thing. So what is the criteria for an album? It needs to be 7 tracks. It needs to be 32 or 33 minutes at a minimum. And we go from there. Nice graphic, good title, and then creates all the rules you have to adhere to. Can't be blurry. Can't be blurry or Apple will strike you down. Kick it back. Get different artwork. Or if it's sniffed, like even if you're using like what you think is Creative Commons, public domain, not Creative Commons, but public domain, or images that are out of copyright, you'll still get flagged. You really have to be careful about that sort of stuff. And of course, no samples other than library loops. And even when I put library loops in there, they are changed to the point where they're not going to be detected. There's a densely mixed, or they're stretched out, or got effects applied to them. I'm even nervous about that sort of stuff. So I'm always very careful about that. I never use anybody else's samples or unlicensed stuff or anything like that. Not if I wouldn't. And if I ever got accused, it would not be anything that I would trying to be getting over on anybody. That's for sure. Because I've released enough stuff. You make enough music, you don't have to rely on other people's things. See, that's why I don't even like, I know there are services out there where you can lease beats and you can buy beats off of the other people. I'm not going to do it. Put in the time, make something original, even if it sounds sort of generic or whatever. That's my approach to that. So yeah, I've just been getting these things out the door. I can do about one a day before my mind just turns to jello. And I've got quite a number of them left to be scheduled. It's going to be stuff that I'll be scheduling sporadically throughout the rest of 2021. And just to knock that out, because again, back to the Brian Eno quote, it put out as much as you can It makes no sense sitting on a shelf. When he was asked, what would you do? If you could email your 18-year-old self, what would you say? Put it out there. So that's what I've been doing here the last few years. What else? Making playlists, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music. I even subscribe to the Napster service, and I build things on there. I don't know whether they have any effect, but it takes a few months to figure that out. And then, of course, I've been getting reporting in. I track that, on a monthly basis, certain days or certain time periods, various stuff rolls in, and tracking data, looking, and then you get data and you look through it, pull it down, look at an Excel, filter it, see what your per stream is, what's doing well, what's not doing well, all that sort of stuff. So, okay, so that's kind of where I am musically here. I don't know if I have anything else here for the time being. I kind of want to just talk about it, just because, it's the one-way call, and do I have anything else here going on? I don't think I do. I think I could chill out here for a little bit here. So you do this for a few hours, and I'm just like, right? And I don't know, maybe I might take a couple days off here in the next week, and just the weather's supposed to be good again. You get out and do some disc golfing, get out and do some walking, and get more of these things out the door, scheduled for like July and August and September, stuff like that. So down the road, right? Okay. And no Realtor Recon this week, just because I've looked, and a lot of the same stuff is out there, and unfortunately, that is the product of our times right now. So, maybe next week a Realtor Recon. My mind has not been in that space lately. Although I do look at the commercial stuff area, but it's the same things over and over again, not just around where I am, but in various parts of the state that I just sort of, well, maybe there might be something new. No. Or it's just something that, falling down building. Like, it's only so many of those. You really want to, I don't even want to talk about those, right? All right, that's it for today. Monday, May 9th, 2021. I'm Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. Just rambling at you. Just rambling. Just telling you what I'm doing here. I'm going to go chill out. Talk to you later.